Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Creating Cards with Debbie. I want to welcome you here today. And if you come on, please comment and say hello. And if you're watching from other than Arkansas, it's fun to see where everybody is. So you might want to put that in your comment also. I'm just going to give a moment for everybody to get here. And then we'll start talking about our news that's going on already. So today is Wednesday, which isn't my normal day. It is Wednesday, October 22nd, 2025. And I hope everybody's having a good day, a good week. We're halfway through. I guess this is hump day. Think of that camel. All right. So let me bring up my comments. I can see if anybody comes on. Like I said, I'm going to give it a moment before we get into our housekeeping things. And let me introduce myself if you don't know who I am. My name is Debbie Foster, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I'm located in Bismarck, Arkansas, which is just about 20 miles south of Hot Springs, Arkansas. So we've got a beautiful day today, bright sunshine. Our nights are starting to get cool, but during the day it warms back up into like the 70s and sometimes 80. So that summer is still hanging on a little bit, I think. But our leaves are starting to turn colors, so I guess fall is here upon us. Let me go ahead and start with our introductions to our Stampin' Up! What's going on. And we've got a special going on right now that starts today, October 22nd until October 24th. It's 3 days only, free shipping. And this is on orders of $75 or more. And this is before tax or shipping costs would be added on. So it'd be just the amount of your order, not including your sales tax. And good time to stock up on our paper products needs, card stock and that sort of stuff. And that no shipping charge is a big savings once you start adding it all up. So that's going on today until Friday, October 24th. So Wednesday until Friday, Wednesday through Friday. And I want to talk about the best deal that Stampin' Up's got going on right now. It says our best starter kit offer ever. And it says stamping is just the beginning. And I want to show you what that is. You can get your starter kit for $35 and you pick out $125 worth of products. So that's a really good deal. I wish I could do that all over again. I join again. But that means that you don't have to do what I do. You can just do it to supply your own paper products goods. And so $35, no shipping. And you pick out $125 worth of product for that. So that's what, $90 free products. So even if you don't want to do what I do, you can just do it to get your paper products supplies. And you've got until April of 2026 to reach your quota. And what your quota is $300 a quarter. So you've got extra time to earn that if you want to stay active. But if you don't, you just drop and nothing has to be returned or nothing. It's all yours to keep for free, all that free product. All right, so that's one option, the $35 option. And or if you would rather pay $99, you can get $189 worth of products. So one or the other is a good bargain, a good deal. I have in my link below, I've got where you can click on it to join. But let me bring that up on the screen here. Get your starter kit right there. You just type in that website, web address, and you go right directly to it. And be sure that you do that because I would love to have you on my team. And along with me, you'll get extra team members to help you out if you have any questions, if you want training. We do training every week. And it's all up to you. And what better time to join than right now? because, well, $99 or even $35 is a great bargain. I've never seen Stampin' Up! Do that before. So take advantage of that. And that runs until October 31st. I forgot to mention that. So you've got, about a week and a half to take advantage of that. All right. And then we're going to talk about our paper pumpkin. And paper pumpkin for the month of October, or no, you've got, this is the November one coming out. So you've got until November 10th to sign up for this one. And it says wrapped in cheer. It says craft festive goodie boxes, perfect for holding gift cards or small treats. It makes 8 projects, 4 each of 2 tag designs with 8 identical coordinating boxes. Foldable box bases and pre-cut paper pieces, linen thread and red dot embellishments. I can't talk today, stumbling on my words. And that it also comes with a classic Stampin' Spot, which will be the mossy meadow. So you've got until November 10th to sign up for this one. And let me put that on the banner down below. And then along with that, you can also add on the dies that coordinate with the October through December paper pumpkin kits. And those are $12. The item number is 167855. 167855. So let me get rid of that. And okay, I want to talk a little bit more about the starter kits before we go on. We've got a little time here. It says October is the best time to join Stampin' Up! Through October 31st, Stampin' Up! Is offering the biggest starter kit deal ever, and you get to choose the option that fits you. Option 1 is the you pick out $125 in product for just $35. Yes, you read that right, and this is the kit that I recommend. Or you can pick out the second choice, which is the $189 in product for just $99. Plus, with either choice, you can add the brand new on exclusive products to your starter kit. These are only available to demonstrators in October. And again, my recommendation, go for the $35 kit. Here's why. You'll get $125 in product for just $35. After purchasing the starter kit and you get your demo ID, you can immediately place another order. That next order helps you work toward your quarterly minimum. Plus, you'll enjoy a 20% discount and earn 10% Stampin' rewards on that order and all orders after that. It's the perfect way to maximize your benefits right from the start. Okay, so the perks of purchasing the starter kit is free shipping, free past pumpkin kit, 20 to 25% discount on all orders after you sign up, early access to new releases and catalogs, opportunities to attend exclusive events, and the opportunity to earn a modest supplemental income. And the best part, there are no strings attached. If you don't meet your quarterly minimum by the end of April 2026, you simply drop as a demonstrator. No penalties, no hassle. All right. Okay, I guess that's about all I want to talk about on that again. All right. And once again, don't forget today is free shipping until Friday, and that's on orders of $75 before sales tax. All right. So let me remove these. All right. So my introduction was I'm Debbie Foster, an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator located in Bismarck, Arkansas, and I want to welcome you here today. Be sure that you like and share the video if you're watching on Facebook, and if you're watching on YouTube, be sure to hit that subscribe button and that little bell there too, because that'll notify you when I go live. All right, so let's switch our cameras down around here and we're going to get started. I think I've gone through everything I need to go through. So, like I said, I'm creating cards with Debbie, and you can shop for the products in that www.debbiefoster.stampinup.net. So we've already gone through all that, and it's all in the description of the videos too. So if you missed it, you can look it up there. So the hardest part is deciding which one I want to start with. I think we're going to start with this one. Let me get my bits and pieces out here. Make a little bit of room. We're going to use Secret C on this one. So let me switch ink pads here. So I grabbed the wrong one. And I'm going to get all my bits and pieces out here, and then we'll talk about this one before we start. All right. So this one is a regular fold. It's a good friend is a gift. And big hugs for a good friend. Let me get my instructions out here. And we're using our designer series paper, which goes with that suite of products in the Perfectly Pear. And we're using this paper, and we're going to die cut this one out, this cluster of pears. And this is number, well, it's in the description of the video. I'm not going to read the number off. You can look that up at the bottom of my screen. All right, let me bring my comments back up here. All right, a good friend is a gift. Big hugs for a good friend. So let's get started with that. We're going to start out with our card base, which measures 5.5 inches by 8.5 inches. And we scored it in the center at 4 1/4 inches. So we're going to burnish that fold line really good. And we're going to put it on portrait. And then we have a couple more layers here. We've got our Darling Duckling, which is 4 1/8 inches by 5 3/8 inches. And then this sheet of designer series paper is 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And then we have another design, which is this one on the back. And this one that measures 1 3/4 inches by 4 inches, and it's going to be glued right to the center of our first layer of designer series paper. Let me grab my glue. And I'm going to attach that. I think my glue is cold today. Doesn't want to come out of there very well. Okay. We're going to attach that to the center of that designer series paper. I'm going to flip that over, see if I have any hanging over. Nope, it's perfect. And then next, we're going to attach that to our card front. Love this paper. It has a stamp set and dies that go along with it. I'll bring those out in just a moment here to show you. Get this down first. Perfectly Pears. Okay. You can get this separate, or you can get it as a bundle. And this is in the mini catalog, the September to December. And don't forget that catalog is going to be expiring the end of December. So we've got a couple of months to go, but I just wanted to remind you. All right, so we're using this sentiment and another sentiment that is in Peace on Earth, which I'm using the big hugs from there. So those are both in the description of the video if you want to look at those. Check them out. All right, so we've got that. Oops. See, I'm already messing up. This is supposed to go onto our yellow layer. Let me see if I can remove that. First card, first mess up. What not to do. All right. Okay, this is going to go onto here instead. So let's put this layer down on our card front first. I've got some paper crinkling there. We're going to cover that anyway. All right, let's do this right. So we never said we're perfect card makers. We do mess up ourselves, and I'm sure everybody else does too sometimes. But there's no mistakes in paper crafting, just a challenge to correct them. All right, that needs to scooch. All right. Now we can put this layer down. And I'm going to pull off this excess. Trying not to get my fingers full of glue here. It might be impossible. And a little bit more glue there. Turn my card sideways so I can see what I'm doing. Place that down. And it could go up a little bit. All right, all better. No harm done. All right, so that's our card front so far. But wait, there's more. All right. And I'm also using the party banners. I think there is, how many in here? There's 20 of them. And I'm going to use 2 of those banners. So it would be, which one here? Yeah. 1, 2. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it would be number 8 and 9 of the dies that we're using. That's counting from the outside edge, the largest. So I die cut our darning duckling with the larger one. And then I die cut our paper with the next size down. So I'm going to attach these both to this layer banner. And I think my glue bottle is trying to clog up on me here. There we go. I think it's cold. It got kind of cool last night, down in the 40s, I think, low 40s. But then it's supposed to be mid 70s today, I think. So it's warming up pretty good out there. All right, this is going to go onto that larger banner, leaving an edge all the way around it. Then we'll attach that to our card front. And I'm not using any dimensionals on these layers. I'm going to use it on our pears instead, and our sentiment. So just making sure that opens the right direction. And then we're going to place this down on our card front and center it. So far, so good. All right, and then we've got our pear that we've already die cut out of our paper. So it's this one right here. We die cut that out already using the die. And I'm going to place that on dimensionals. And use these, finish off the sheet. And I'm going to put 3 dimensionals on there because I don't want it sinking in the middle. Trying to keep my area halfway decent here so I can work without losing everything. So we'll see how that goes today. All right, and then this is going to go onto that bottom corner. And I'm going to slant it a little bit going towards the left. And it should have some scrap paper here to stamp our sentiment on, which is going to say, a good friend is a gift. And I'm going to use our secret C. That's what the cardstock is. I don't know if I said that. Our card base is a secret C. I don't think I said that when I started. So we're going to stamp this onto a scrap of basic weight. And then we're going to fussy cut that out. Use that up. Grab our paper snips. And these paper snips are no longer available with Stampin' Up, but they're working on trying to find somebody else to make them for them. So I like these too. They're good and sharp. I hope the next one that they find is just as good. So no particular way. I'm just going around the letters a little bit just to give it a little shape. And then I'm going to put a mini dimensional on that left side. Oops. Come back here. Well, it doesn't want to go on there. It's jumping back off again. I'm going to put another one beside it because I don't want it sinking. And the other side, we're just going to put glue adhesive. There, a bottle back over here. Just a little drop. Don't need a lot. Okay. Make sure I put it right side up here. We don't want it upside down. And then I'm going to just place that over our pears a little bit. And okay. And then I made a double bow out of our linen thread. That's going to go on top of our pears. And I'm going to grab a mini glue dot that comes in our paper pumpkin. I'm going to use that to attach that linen thread. So I think I'm going to put it right about there. And then next we've got, these are our low profile sparkle dots. We're going to add some of those, and I'm going to go with the green because we've got a lot of green in here. It's going to bring that out. Use my take your pick tool to grab those with. And I'm going to put one here. And one there. And another one right there. All right. And then for our card, inside of our card, we're going to stamp the sentiment, Big Hugs. And like I said, that comes from our stamp set. That is Peace on Earth. It's this one right here. And again, I'm going to use my Secret C stamp pad. And of course, I stick my finger in it right away. Let's ink that up. And I centered it. Big hugs for a good friend. Close that. And thought I had a strip here. I'm going to put that on the inside. Okay, we did have a strip of DSP. This measures, what is it? 1/8 inch by 4 inches. And it's going to go across the bottom. I'm going to use the checkered side. I'm going to... There's a loud noise outside. I don't know what that was. All right. Oh, it's my cat doing something under my desk here. She's probably into something. Got enough glue on there. I'm going to go across the bottom, leaving a small border at the bottom. And I'm going to turn that over and snip off that excess. Now we put this on the inside of our card. We'll be done with card number 1. All right. We had a trying week last week. I'm glad this week isn't a repeat of last week was. We had to have an electrician come to our house. He spent 5 hours here, 5.5 hours here, trying to figure out what the problem was. We lost all of our power in the house. It was the wire cable coming into the house that was bad, so they had to replace that. But I thought I lost all my kitchen appliances because we had real bad surges going through. We had 220 going through our 110, so that's not good. I think the only thing I lost was my 2 lights under my cabinets, and I think that was all. Oh, our receiver for our dish network in our main living room. But we got that all replaced Friday, so we're good to go. Hopefully nothing else happens. All right, so here's card number 1. And on the inside, big hugs for a good friend. All right. And card number 2. Is this one. Put the directions over there. Let me make some room here to put my bits and pieces down. I did a lot of the die cutting ahead of time, so hopefully I've got it covered where I don't have to bring out our baby boss. All right, so it says, "You matter." And on the inside, "I am here for you." And this came from our Love and Strength. I guess I didn't put that in my items, I don't think. It's Love and Strength, item number 164252. And we're using "You Matter" and "I Am Here For You." This is a real pretty stamp set. It's new. In fact, I haven't even got all my labels on my stamps yet. Okay. So, again. And with this one, we're going to be starting out with, well, where'd my instructions go? I didn't make instructions for this one or not. I know where it is. Hold on a second. Well, I have to improvise here and just measure as I go. I don't know where I put them. So let's do that. Bring our old ruler back over here. All right, our card base is 5.5 by 8.5. Oops, and I'm using cloud cover and I'm dropping things. I've had dropsies all week long. I don't know what's going on. Something in the air. Okay, 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4 inches. And we're going to go landscape with this one. And a bone folder. And then next we've got our designer series paper. And this measures 4 1/8 inches by 5 3/8 inches. I feel like I'm forgetting something. This paper comes from the Peaceful Garden 12 by 12. Very pretty. And we're using this pattern in this both sides. All right, let's start gluing things down here. That side's pretty too. Attach that to our card front, leaving a tiny border going around it. I was putting this card together the other day when we had bad weather come in. We had a tornado not too far from our house, pretty close, in fact, a EF1 tornado. All right, and then we've got, this is our Misty Moonlight cardstock, which is 2 5/8 inches by 4 5/8 inches. And then we've got that designer series paper. We're using this side this time. And this measures 2.5 inches by 4.5 inches. So that's going to attach to this. Lots of layers on this card, but it still should go through the mail fine. All right, and leave a small border. And that's going to go on the front of our card in the center. Be sure you comment and say hello when you come on. Is that straight? Yeah, I think that's straight. And then we've got another Misty Moonlight. And this one measures 1 5/8 inches by 3 7/8 inches. And then another layer of that designer series paper again, which is 1 1/2 inches by 3 3/4 inches. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold these together, make sure the bottom edge is flush, and we're just going to bag the bottom of this. So I'm going to cut up straight up in the middle and cut off each side, going just to the center of that. Okay, so here's our banner. Then we're going to push that up against the top edge. And we're going to attach that. And put that up, put that down. Now this is going to go over the top of that left side, but we're going to put that up on dimensionals. 2 at the top and 2 at the bottom. And 2 more at the top. Take those backings off. And then we're going to attach that to the left side here. Get that straight. And I have cut out a Misty Moonlight circle and a basic white circle. And these come from the Stylish Shapes. Yeah, Stylish Shapes dies. And you can see all the different ones in here. And we're using, let me see here, 1, 2, the third from the largest, and the fourth from the largest are the dies that we used in there. I'll put these back in here so I don't lose them. Okay, and I'm going to stamp my sentiment first down there. And I'm going to use Misty Moonlight stamp pad. This and this one. You Matter on our little circle, white circle. And right in the center. Ooh, got a lot of ink on there. I didn't smear it because I don't think I have an extra circle cut out. And as long as we're stamping, we're going to give that a moment to dry. I'm going to go ahead and stamp the sentiment on the inside. Oops. I don't know where that pink came from. It must have been from before. And I'm here for you. I'm going to put that right in the center. Tap, tap, tap. Okay, I am here for you. Now we can put that ink pad away. And now we're going to set this aside. We'll talk about that after we get the front done. I'm going to attach this to my Misty Moonlight circle. And that can go on to the center of our banner. And I'm just going to put glue on the inside of the circle like that. And then it's going to just sit on here. And I think right about there looks good. And we've tied a bow using the faux linen ribbon, and this is the cloud covers color. So I've already done that. We're going to attach that to the bottom of our circle with the mini glue dots. Right here. Looks like we're doing good on time today. I'm going to pick up that glue dot. Grab my paper pick tool again. We're going to use that pointed tip. Get that off of there. And my bow got kind of crunched up in the packaging. Let me see if I can floof it a little bit. My ribbon scissors, and trim that down a little bit. And then for gems, I'm going to be using the Hues of Blue flowers. And we're going to use the Misty Moonlight one. If I can get them out of here, we will. Well, something's sticking. Here we are. And this is an online exclusive. It's in with the Peace on Earth bundle suite. All right, we're going to take through 2 of those. Let me get this out of the way here. And now I'm going to use the cloud cover one. I changed my mind. I'm going to use a large. And don't want it small. Yeah, let's grab the small one. And let's put another large one and go maybe right there. Okay, so let's attach our innards in there inside of our card. And I'm going to use this side of it. Turn that around. That's straight. Now it is. And we'll snip off that excess. My chair is squeaking. That wasn't me. All right, let's get all this trash out of the way here. Put my little cup. Open this. That in there. Okay. Here's our first card, or just a second card, sorry. You matter. I am here for you. If you got a friend or somebody that's going through a tough time, that'd be a good card for them. Okay. Next, we're going to be using something that's on the last chance list. Okay, it's called Thankful Garden. It has the stamp set, the dies, and our masks are all in last chance. The stamp set isn't marked down. The dies are marked down from $35 down to $31.50. And the Thankful Garden masks, originally $13, they're now $11.70. So these are in the last chance area. It's while supplies last. So if you like what I'm doing today, you want to get your stuff, I'd order it separately because you get a bigger percentage off than what you would if you did it as a bundle. So just FYI. Let me get our card out here and I'll show you what we're going to do. Get my instructions all off of there. I'm going to be doing some blending using our blending brushes. And then we're going to use our masks to color the flower with. But this starts out as being Petunia Pop cardstock, card base. And it says, you make a difference, and thankful for you, friend. So those are both in that same stamp set, which I had put aside here. You make a difference is for the front, and then thankful for you, friend. It's going to be our inside sentiment. All right. So get started with that. Put that up here so I can see it. All right, our card base is going to be Petunia Pop. And I'm doing just a hot dog style or something they call it. It's 4 1/4 inches by 11 inches. And then we're going to burnish that fold line. Hi, Glenda. Glad you're here. You can go back and watch the replay to catch what you might have missed later, but stay with me for now. Glad to have you. All right. 4 1/4 by 11 inches, scored at 5 1/2 inches. And then we've got our designer series paper, which is coming from, I've got 2 different designer series paper that we're using today. This one comes from one that is Florals In Bloom. Lots of pretty papers in here. Let me show you a little bit here. We've got a little time. Push those down. We've got this, that. Okay, we're starting all over again. So those are the design series paper we're using on that part. We're using this pattern that's on the back. And I'm going to go ahead and attach that to our card front. I wasn't able to do my live on Monday, so that's why I'm doing a Wednesday. All right, it's going to go on the front of our card, leaving a small border going around the edges. All right, so far. And then we've got a white layer. And this measures 2 7/8 inches by 5 3/8 inches. It's going to go across that center. But we're going to start stacking with it first. We'll work on this and then we'll attach it. The designer series paper. Oops, this was my scrap. I grabbed the wrong one. This is the right one. Our designer series paper comes from the Floral Impressions 12 by 12. And maybe show those. I don't know if you're aware of those or not. We're using this one. Just run through these real quick if you're not familiar with them. And I think I did these already. Yeah. All right. So our designer series paper measures 2 3/4 inches by 5 1/4 inch. And we're going to layer that onto our basic white layer, which was 2 7/8 inches by 5 3/8 inches. Okay, we're getting ready to go camping again next week. So that'll be our final one for the season. We'll winterize the camper and our boat and everything. So this is going to go onto the center of this. And no dimensionals yet on this card. I'm on Central Time, so I come on at 10 o'clock. My normal day is on Monday mornings at 10 o'clock Central Time, but I wasn't able to do Monday this past Monday, so I had to change my day to Wednesday just to get my video in there this week. So, all right, and then next I've got a basic white cut out with our banners. Where did I put it? Working on a mess here again. That. Where did I put the banners? Dropping things. Hold on a second. They're probably buried in here somewhere. Or did I put them away? Let me check my shelf over here. Well, I don't know where I put them. Now looking right at them, maybe. Oh, they're right here beside me. I've taken them out already. Yeah. All right, these are the Nested Essentials dies, and I'm using the 2 larger of these. This would be this one for the basic white, and then I cut a smaller one out with the vellum. And our vellum is coming back in, so with our November mini catalog and our online exclusives that are coming out, you'll be able to order it again. But it's going to be 12 by 12 sheets instead of the 8.5 by 11. Okay, so get the size. Copy that one. Copy that. All right, why am I fumbling here? All right, we're going to put just a tiny drop of glue on the center of the vellum to hold it onto our basic white. Remember, when you use adhesive on your vellum, it does show through, so I try to put it where it's not going to be showing, where something goes over the top of it. So you see the vellum, okay. And I'm going to go ahead and attach that to the center of our DSP layer. Use my adhesive of choice. This is my Tombow. It's my go-to adhesive. All right, and I want to center that onto that. You can see that, okay. And next, we're going to take our scrap paper and we're going to stamp our flower. And remember, this comes from the Thankful Garden stamp set. There's a glare there. We're using this flower right here, and this sentiment here and here. All right, we're going to be using our black Memento ink pad to ink that up with. We're going to be using our masks to color this in. So I'll get the stamp first, and then we'll get on to that, showing you. Is that going to fit on here? Maybe needed a bigger scrap of paper here. Yeah, it fits. Press that down. Close up our ink pad. Okay. And my instructions out of here because I'm going to be using my glass table surface. And our ink pads we're going to be needing. Going to have bubble bath, petunia pop, strawberry slush, Garni apple green, and garden green are our colors that we're using. So let me clear the way here so I can make room to do this. I'm going to start with our bubble bath. And my blending brushes through here. And our masks. Our masks are numbered 1 to 5. So let me make sure they're in order here. That's 4. One, 2, 3, 4. And I'm missing number 1. Okay. Number 1 and number 5. Let me put those in order. All right, and some washi tape to hold that down with. Oops, I didn't mute my phone. I'm just going to stick that to my surface here. All right, and we're going to start with number 1 mask, which is this one. Looks kind of funny. And we're going to line up our flowers. And then I'm going to tape that down to hold it in place. So let's grab 2 more strips of this. All right, and make sure we're centered on there right. Looks good. And we'll grab our pink brush and we'll start with our bubble bath. And I know you can't see, but let me see if I can scoot this over a bit. Now you can see. Bubble bath. And our brush. Rub, rub, rub. And tap, tap, tap it off. And then we're going to add some color to those flowers. You could color these with Stampin' blends too, but I'm using the masks today because they're on sale. And they're only going to be available for a short time until they're gone. So I wanted to show how to use that. All right, close up the bubble bath. And we're going to grab Petunia Pop for the next number 2 mask. Okay. And number 2. I'm going to line that up also. That looks pretty good right there. So let's stick that back down. And we're using our Petunia Pop. This kind of light. All right, remove that mask. And number 3. This one gets a little trickier. Let me get that lined up right. Well, right side. Oh, looking at the wrong one. I wonder it's not matching up. Okay, that looks good right there. And we'll get rid of the Petunia Pop. And we'll bring our strawberry blush. Tapping the color off a little bit. strawberry slush. Yes, Glenda. We are at 11 o'clock right now, a.m. All right. Yeah, we're done with the pinks now. We're going to go on to our green. So we're going to have Granny Apple Green next. Done with that one. Let's grab our green brush. And oops, I better put the mask on there. Get that lined up with our leaves. This is Granny Apple Green. I go in a circular motion. And then we'll switch. And our last one is Garden Green. For mask number 5. This was mask 4. And line that up again. Okay, looks good. Garden Green. Okay. That's all for the masks. Oh my gosh, Glenda, I'm so sorry that you lost everything. Are you able to build up your supply again? Yeah, I'd be devastated if I lost all mine. I'm glad that you're here and able to watch me. I'm on usually every week, Monday mornings at 10 a.m. Central Time. So if you want to catch me again, I won't be doing one next week though, because we'll be camping. I don't know if I'll get one recorded ahead of time to be able to post. I'll try, but I'm not promising. I've got a lot going on right now. But I'll be back for sure in November, the week after next. I'm going to bring my baby boss over here, and I'm going to die cut this flower out. And grab the dies for that. And this one right here. Scoop that up a little bit. Place that down. I'm going to just use the same washi tape here. And get that centered on there right. After all that work, we don't want it moving on us. And we'll run that through. Baby boss is still squeaking. Keep forgetting to ask my husband to oil it. But one of these days I might remember. Have him do that for me. All right. And now we're going to place this on dimensional. See how pretty that is? Okay, dimensionals. And I want to put plenty on here so it doesn't sink in the middle or anything. So I'm probably going to use a lot of dimensionals on this one. But that's okay. I know where I can get more. In my store. And I'll put a couple in the center just to hold it up. Take the pick tool. We'll pop those dimensional backings off of there. Works wonders when your fingernails aren't that good. All right, now we can place them onto our vellum piece. And I'm going to center that right on top of that. And then next we've got next. I made a double bow or a single bow out of our just white ribbon, I guess it's called. And that's going to go on the bottom here. But first I'm going to stamp my sentiment. It says, "You make a difference." And I'm just going to use my black Memento ink pad. Where do you live at, Glenda? Stamp that on this little strip of basic white. And that measured 3/8 inches by 2 7/8 inches. You make a difference. And I'm going to grab my mini dimensionals to put at each end of it. I don't want to put more on there than that. No, I think that's good. Oops. And I'm going to put my bow here, and then I'm going to angle this over it. Maybe. Well, I don't know. Maybe I don't want the bow in there. Well, it's kind of funky looking. I don't know if I like that. No. Bow or no bow? Maybe if I made a smaller bow. Yeah, scooch this over a little bit. Let me make a smaller bow. I don't like that big one. I use my handy dandy bow jig. Okay, undo this. So I'm going to make a small bow to go under my sentiment. And this is a small bow. Oh, wow. I love the mountains. When we lived in California, we lived in the mountains in a resort. It was nice. I always said the perfect place would be on the mountain next to a beach where you could see both. I don't know if that's possible anywhere. All right, now we're going to put our little bow right there. So I'm going to use a mini glue dot. Get your pick tool to get that off. And let's see which way that's going, like that. Oops. It's sticky, sticking to my finger. Okay, little tiny bow, just under a sentiment. But then we want to add some bling, so we're going to use our Strawberry Slush and Pretty in Pink gems. Okay, so you're probably Eastern time, aren't you, Glenda? If you're Eastern time, that would be 11 o'clock your time. All right, I'm going to go with the light pink. And I'm just going to place 3 on my card front. And now, not sure that's where I want it to be. Oops. I had my breakfast this morning, my oatmeal. My stomach feels like it's wanting to growl already. It's too soon for our lunch. Okay, and then I'm going to put a little bit of wink on there, the center of our flowers, just to give it a little bit more bling. Never have too much bling. All right, that's the front of our card. Now we need to do the inside. Let me put these away out of my way. I've got a basic white, 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And a designer series paper, which measures 2, that's not right. What is this? I think it's 1 inch by 5 1/4 inches. That's going to go across here. I want to stamp my sentiment first in case I mess up. I can turn it over. Okay, yeah, Glenda, it would be 11 o'clock your time. All right. We're going to stamp Thankful for You, Friend. That's in that same stamp set. And maybe right there. Close this up. And we're going to attach this strip of designer series paper to that left side. I think I need to unclog my bottle. I think it's clogged up a little bit. And the small edge on that left side. Snip that excess off. Just a hair on that side. This is going to go on the inside of our card now. You're very welcome, Glenda. Thank you for being here. You might want to go back and catch the replay so you get what you missed. I did 3 cards total, so I don't know how many you've seen. All right. So here we have it. You make a difference. Thankful for you, friend. So let me bring all my cards out here. Cap on my glue. And here's our first card. Our second. All right. So I hope you enjoyed those today. Like I said, I won't be here next Monday, the 27th. I will be here the following Monday, which will be on my calendar, I'll tell you. Yes, October's almost done. We'll be camping next week. So I won't be back until November 3rd at 10 o'clock Central Time or 11 o'clock Eastern Time for Glenda. All right, so y'all have a good week, rest of the week. I know it's hump day today. We're halfway through the week already again. I don't know where the time goes. Every day just passes by so fast. I can't keep up. But I'm glad you're able to be here today. And be sure you like and share the video. And if you're watching on YouTube, click that subscribe button and that little bell, and you'll be notified when I go live. So I'll say goodbye. Thank you for being here. Until next time, bye-bye.